This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, Good Neighbors, episode number 223 of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have good neighbor Bill Utnage from Damascus Road Referral Systems. Welcome.
Hey, Jim. Well, Happy New Year is already into 2025. So thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. We always like to introduce new people to our communities out here, and you are our latest, person on the show. So why don't you share a little bit about what you do over at Damascus Road?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. So primarily what I do is I help local service-based businesses. So for example, real estate, mortgage, insurance, financial services, anyone that's selling, a service rather than selling a product. And I teach them how to actually get more clients from the people that already know, like, and trust them to generate more referrals in their business.
Absolutely. That's great. A lot of people need help nowadays,
Absolutely.
People get into that industry. But how did you get involved in all this?
Great question. So it all started back I'm going to go back to 1991. I left the Air Force in 1991. I'd spent 6 years there and had an opportunity to go into business with a friend of mine who was a chiropractor. And helped him run, and we launched practices kind of across the country. Had a consulting company that we worked with new doctors to kind of help them coming out of school to get better at being business people and to be able to run that. Sold that off in the end of 2004, and then 2005 went in to the real estate world, started a real estate business and ran that. And then through all of that, I was coaching and teaching people kind of what I had learned about building a system around connecting with the people that already know, like, and trust us, with our clients, and to build and generate more referrals in our business. And then sold my real estate business in 2021, moved down here to wonderful Southwest Florida, where my wife and I live in Fort Myers. And really that was the birth of Damascus Road Referral Systems in May of 2021. I know that's a long answer to a short question, but the history of all of that is really kind of what built upon for me to now focus primarily on just helping, those folks grow their businesses.
And then that's just it. The journey it's half the battle, but
Absolutely.
Talking about battles, what type of challenges have you faced in getting to where you are today?
I think, one of the things is, as a business owner is that, what I always look at is like, I've learned more from, sometimes my challenges, sometimes, the failures than I have from my successes. And, I go back and look at, different parts of my life of turning points. And one of those, I go back to 2007, and 2007 was the collapse of the housing market. It was also kind of the collapse of the stock market. It was a challenging time. Jim, you probably, can remember that.
Absolutely.
That time you and I are, probably in the similar generation, around that. But one of the things that I learned from that, and I was running my real estate business, and I only had been doing that for a couple of years at that point, and we were coming off some of the greatest years in real estate at that point in time. Like, we thought it was never going to get bad; it was always going to be great. And then, what happened is the market collapse and all of that, and it was super challenging. But what I found through all of that is how important my database of my current clients, my network, how important that was to helping me and at that time to our team to weather that storm and actually come out on the other side, in a sense, almost better, because so many people left the industry because of that. And thank God we were able to withstand that part of it and to grow that bigger. And during all of that, what I really understood is that the power of relationships is really that was the key thing inside of that, because that's what really helped our business continue on, is the people that supported our business, the relationships that we had, we had developed. And now we're sitting here at 2025, and I don't believe that has changed. I think people still want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And those relationships are what is so powerful. And if if we will foster those and have a system around doing that, we could build an amazing business. But that was a really learning point in my life of how important to invest in those relationships.
Absolutely. And I think people find the value in that. There is a lot of, people that are searching for that human contact, because a lot of what we do today is digital, and they want to talk to a real person and deal with a real person.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about myths or misconceptions surrounding what you do in general, as far as the coaching aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And there's several, but one of the ones that, and I talk about this a lot with people, is there's this kind of a misconception, in your, especially in those that in the service-based world, is people will say to me, they're like, oh, well, Bill, I get referrals, and I don't really need to, a system to do that, because people know me, they like me, and, they'll do business with me. And to a certain degree, that is true. But the biggest misconception is that just because they've done business with you doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do business with you again, or they're going to refer you. Because, as you well know, Jim, in the world, obviously you run a podcast, and you're active in everything is what's going on, especially in Southwest Florida, is we're bombarded up towards 5,000 marketing messages a day, right? And there's always someone vying for our attention. And the thing about it is if we're not staying in front of those people and letting them know, what we do, why we do it, then those referrals, instead of just getting them, you can change that to where they can be more consistent if you have a system around doing all of that. So really, that's one of the biggest things that I have when I talk with someone. They're like, oh yeah, I get it, but we don't really sometimes get it anymore, because, like you said, there's a lot of noise that we have in our world that is going after our attention as well.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of people out there that rely on word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And word of mouth can be great, but then it can be bad as well too. You make one person mad, they're going to tell 20 people. Make one person happy, they may be one or two, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. That is, we will say, unfortunately, we'll tell more people about the things that didn't go well in our life versus the things that are going well.
Absolutely. So you mentioned you weren't from Southwest Florida originally, correct?
That is correct.
Where were you originally from?
So I'm born. My dad was in the military, so I was born actually in California, and so I've been from one coast to the other, and then obviously serving in the military, I've lived in a lot of different places. So,
what brought you to Southwest Florida?
Jim, I'm looking out my window in my office, and so the same reason you're probably here is like it's going to be 77 degrees today. We moved from Illinois, where today I think the high is going to be around 12 or 13 degrees. So
exactly,
it was just really the weather. My wife and I, we love to scuba dive. We love being outside, all of those things, and so we had the opportunity to be able to come down here and to do that, and so we absolutely love it.
No more snow shoveling, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
We're done with that. So you mentioned scuba diving, but I know running a business can be very demanding of your time, but when you get a free moment, what do you enjoy doing outside of work?
Yeah, I mean, really, that's it. We love being outside. We're one of the strange ones. We don't care about the seasons. We love the heat. And so we love being on the beach. We love boating. Like I said, scuba diving. We love that part of it. Just being outside, being outdoors is just is what we really enjoy. And that's why we're able to do that pretty much year round down here. So
absolutely,
that's the greatness of being in Southwest Florida.
We don't get that cabin fever like they do up north.
Right, exactly.
So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about Damascus Road that maybe they're not familiar with?
I think the issue of it is that, and it's more so, it kind of piggybacks on what we were talking about, like, the misconception. I think the issue of it is that, be thinking about people's business is being in a proactive way of getting referrals, of growing your business. And because if you will do that, there's people that you've already like, and trust. If you've been in business for very long, that those people, if they were happy with your services, if you had a system in place in connecting with people the right way, and understanding too, how to ask for those referrals in a way that doesn't feel weird or pushy or awkward, of just how much easier that business can be, because you're dealing with people that that you're coming already pre-verified, if you would, from someone that sends you a referral. And so for me, I think is that piece of it is like everything is having the right system in place. And if you do, it can be a definite game changer in your business.
Absolutely. So how would our listeners go about reaching out to you if they wanted to learn more or needed some help?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best ways you can find me on my website is at Bill Utnage, and that's BILLUTNAGE, which is a crazy name.com. And then you can go to I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn as well. I put out a lot of free content of training and all of those things on LinkedIn, YouTube, and a lot of all those normal social channels.
Very good. Any last words for our listeners?
No, I think one, Jim, thank you for doing what you're doing, for being a good neighbor. I think that I love the podcast. I love what you're doing here in Southwest Florida. And no, thank you for given me the opportunity just to kind of share a little bit about who I am and what I do. And if you're a local service-based business that could use more help in generating referrals, please look me up. I always love to have a conversation to see if it's a good fit.
Bill, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being such a good neighbor, and I hope to see you out in the community soon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com. Or call 239-296-2621.